Hey everybody, it's your Sam again, and I'm here with another video. I kind of wanted to go over today some of the writing and editing tips that I've heard that just don't really work for me, and some tips that I have that have worked for me and maybe they'll work for you too. I'm gonna go over the writing ones first, and then I'll go over the editing ones, since you have to write something in order to edit it. You can't edit a blank page. Yeah, let's try to do that with this video as well. So one of the very first writing tips that I have heard that I just can't do is write every day. I've tried this. There have been times where I've been able to write every single day for 3, 4, maybe 5 months in a row, but then there's always a day in there where it's just so difficult. It's like pulling teeth from a chicken. It does not work. So on those days, I tend to not want to beat myself up and not create like a negative feeling. So on days like that, I just don't write. I do something else that is related to writing, whether it's edit videos like this, or make videos like this, or maybe just reread some of the things that I've written, or just take a day to read other people's work. That's what I do if I have a no writing day. I have tons of respect for people who manage to write every day, and that is amazing. And like I said, sometimes I can do that for 3 or 4 months straight. Other times it's not going to happen. Another writing tip that I've heard that I just can't do is write to sell. This, I don't do enough research in order to come up with an idea for somebody. Like, I don't look up enough agents. I don't look up enough publishers on a daily basis to see what they're looking for so that I can start writing for what they're looking for. Granted, I have looked at some submission guidelines and seen what they're looking for, seeing things that they're interested in, and I've tried to come up with ideas every now and then, but I have so many ideas, I would rather just write them and wait for somebody to be ready for them. Outlining. That's another writing tip. If you have an outline, you know where you're going, you're not going to get lost in the skulky middle or something like that. And I've managed to find a way to have a loose outline that I can follow, to where I don't just give up or I don't get overwhelmed or something like that. I find that if I have that loose outline, then yes, I'm going to finish the book, because that's how I finished I'm No Hero Book 1 and Book 2. It's great to outline, but these nitpicky outlines where you have like every single little scene planned out and things like that, I can't do that. I still have to have enough space and enough room in that outline to where I can discovery write. I have a plantser outline. I have a very mobile outline, where I can change some things around or add things or subtract things or something like that. And another thing is creating character sheets. Now, I have the basics of every single character written down somewhere. Hair color, eye color, height, weight, something like that. The things that stay pretty much the same throughout the writing that you have to have a reference to, just in case you manage to somehow forget, what height they were. But there's character sheets out there that have like 400 questions, and it goes down to the nitty gritty, and it's overwhelming. I can't do those. I can do the basics. I can do what the character's arc is going to be, you know, just a slight outline of that, you know, where I want them to be at the beginning of the book, the middle of the book, and at the end of the book, or at the end of the series, or, you know, in the series, like that. But I cannot do details of every little thing. It just, you're not going to use every single one of those details in your book. At least I don't. I mean, you're not going to know that when they were 5 years old they fell off a boat unless it's traumatizing for them, or unless it comes up in a story or something like that. But usually things that aren't traumatizing or needed later on in the book, they get cut out because they're not needed. So here are some of the editing tips that I just find that I cannot do right this minute, or I'm not used to doing, and I need to practice doing them. One is replace positive with a negative. Now this is good, but I don't really see how necessary it is for novels. Now, if you're doing like a marketing thing or the advertising part of your books and stuff like that, then yes, I would definitely replace the negative with a positive. But let me give an example. I've got one written down here. This is the reason why I keep looking down, is because I have my notes. So a negative. You don't want to make these mistakes. Twisting that to a positive line, you want to avoid these mistakes. To me, it doesn't really make a difference as a reader. I don't really see either sentence being negative or positive, but I can if I study it and I actually have to think about it, as in for this video or something like that, yeah, I can see it. I get it. But as I'm reading a title like that, I don't really think, you know, well, that's negative. I just don't do it. It doesn't cross my mind. It's a title. Cut the word that. I use the word that a lot, I am finding. I did a search on my manuscript and there are a lot of that's. So that is something that I am getting used to. Even as I speak, I use the word that a lot. So yeah, practice. I'm going to have to practice it. Another one is to make your verbs stronger. Make is a verb, and make is not a very strong verb because make can be many different things. So even just to change that sentence, make your verbs stronger, would be better to say strengthen your verbs, because that is a more active, stronger verb. You get the picture without having to think about it, without having to follow up with the next few sentences to see what the word make means. Again, I'm practicing this. I've got to work on it a little bit, but as of right now, it's just a little over my head when I'm editing. It's probably because I'm doing light edits instead of really getting into the nitty-gritty and looking at my prose really closely. So that's probably the reason why it's kind of over my head right now, is because I'm just focusing on the overarching things and stuff like that. So maybe when I get down to where I'm doing line edits and things like that, then maybe that'll be more prevalent and I'll get more exercise doing that. And another thing, I've noticed that when I write, a lot of times I just write. It's just a word vomit. So I do this a lot. I have subdual redundancies. I have little redundancies. So this can mean different things. She blinked her eyes. What else is she going to blink? So that sentence could be just she blinked. You don't have to have the redundancy of her eyes in there, because of course she blinked her eyes, because there's nothing else that she can blink. she snapped her fingers. Now there are a couple of different things that you can snap, but if there's nothing in the person's hands, then yeah, they're going to just snap their fingers. Avoid simple redundancies. So those are some of the things that I just can't do in a editing and writing. And look, there's a negative sentence. See what I mean? There you go. Some of the things that I do while writing is that I do not edit while I'm writing. If I am drafting, I refuse to go back and edit. I just can't do it. It causes too many pauses. It causes the creative flow to just come to a standstill, and I can't do it. So I have gotten very good at not editing while I'm writing. Editing comes later. Another thing is I always carry a notebook or something with me that I can write on or with. That's the reason why I have the phone that I do, is because it has a stylus, and I have Google Docs on it. I have Samsung Notes. I have different programs on there that I can use in order to write on it, and I do very often. Whether it's just jotting down a new idea or some line that I've come up with or something like that, I always have it with me. I can also text it to myself or email it to myself or something like that. I have something on me at all times. And I do have like a little pocket notebook too, just in case I can't really pull out my phone, you know, like at work. So sometimes I take out the pocket notebook and I scribble it down real quick and put it back in my pocket. Basically, the two writing tips that I hold dear and that I use all the time is having something with me and do not edit while you're writing. Write when you can. You don't have to write every day. I know I can't write every day. So just write when you can. Write when you feel the flow, and don't give up. Just don't. That's all I got for you today. So if you like videos like this, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I do videos every Sunday and Thursday, and they're usually on writing or editing or a little bit of gaming every now and then, or something to do with writing. Every now and then I do some videos on depression and anxiety and burnout and how to avoid or take care of yourself as a creative. I do live streams every Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on my channel. Every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do live streams with Lauren and Nicole, and we switch between channels. And I do believe that this one coming up after this video goes live is going to be on Nicole's channel. So make sure to check out that link below and hit that subscribe button to her channel too, so you can be notified whenever we do the live stream this Tuesday. Be kind to one another, stay creative, stay safe, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Editing Sam here, and I just wanted to add to make sure to look at the description box for a link to fill out a form to enter into a drawing to win a flash fiction piece from yours truly. This is in celebration of me hitting 100 subscribers on Thursday, which is amazing, and I want to thank all of you for that. Yeah, it's a dream come true, and I hope we can just continue to grow and support each other from here. So make sure to fill out that form so that you can get a flash fiction piece from me written for you. Thank you again.